Chapter 601. David didn't want to follow the two of them to get involved too much, so he said to Zhao Wuoyuki, "Zhao Pavilion Master, since the leader's son is no longer in serious trouble, let's go." After David finished speaking, he turned around and wanted to leave. He had already done what he had to do, and it was useless to stay here. As for what the Chong reinforcements did to Yuan Baozhong and Zhou Jiaolong, he didn't care. "Master Chen, stay. I don't know something, please enlighten me." Seeing that David was leaving, Yuan Baozhong hurriedly stepped forward to stop David and asked, "What's the matter?" David was slightly taken aback. "Master Chen, since young Master Chong has been hit by a puppet bug, why does the other party have to wait more than a year to control young Master Cheng's body? Does the other party have any intentions?" Yuan Baozhong was very puzzled. Since the other party gave Chong Yuan a puppet bug more than a year ago, why did he not move for more than a year, but today he controlled Chong Yuan's body? After Yuan Baozhong finished speaking, everyone looked at David, and they all wanted to know what was going on, especially Chong Region, who wanted to know what the other party had on him. As I said at the beginning, the reason why Mr. Chong was in a coma was because his mind was damaged, not caused by poisoning. Although the puppet worm entered Mr. Chang's body, because Mr. Chong was frightened, his mind was damaged and unconscious. So the puppet worm had no way to control young Master Chang's body. Young Master Chong has been in a coma for more than a year. Fortunately, this is the case. Otherwise, you still don't know what the other party will do after he controls young Master Chang's body. But just now you did acupuncture for young Master Chong, trying to force out the venom from young Master Chang's body. But directly stimulated Mr. Chang's brain, allowing the puppet worm to take advantage of it and directly control Mr. Chang's body, which is why the scene just now appeared. David explained patiently. When he heard that he became like this because of himself, Yuan Baozhong's face instantly turned red, not to mention how embarrassing he was, he couldn't wait to find a scene to get in. "Mr. Chen, who is that? Who is going to attack my son?" Chong Region wanted to know now who dared to do something to his son. "Didn't I already say it just now? This puppet worm is unique to Miao Village, and to be able to cultivate such a large puppet worm, the opponent's position in Miao Village must be not low, but I just don't know why the people of Miao Village do this," David said. Chong Region was silent, his eyes flashing with murderous intent, his brows furrowed tightly together. "I know why, it must be that Miao Village wants to use this method to reduce the supervision of Miao Village. Because everyone in Miao Village is playing drugs, in order to avoid causing social panic, the management and control of Miao Village is very strict. It is difficult for the Miao Village to develop. They must be trying to achieve the intention of controlling the leadership through this method, so that they can relax the control of their Miao Village. They dare not directly attack the leadership, so they chose Chong Gongzi." Zhao Wuoyuki analyzed it. Chong Region nodded. "Yes, it should be because of this, because people from Miao Village have applied more than once to relax their control. However, David can't say anything about this kind of thing. After all, there are too many things involved and too many people. Wuji, I don't care what method you use to find the people in the Miao Village hiding in Kyoto, and dare to use such despicable means, I can't spare them." Chong Rianjin ordered Zhao Wuoyuki angrily. Although he knew that the Miao Village did it, but there was no evidence, Chong Yuanjin couldn't do anything to the Miao Village. Now he has to find out the person who harmed his son. "Yes." Zhao Wuji replied loudly, and he was very embarrassed soon. "Leader, I'm afraid that the people from the Miao Village will not be able to catch him." Chapter 602. Zhao Wuoyuki's Kyoto Dharma Protector Pavilion was nothing but a few warriors. If he really wanted to meet someone with a high status in Miao Village, he was really not an opponent. He was afraid that the other party would throw a few poisonous insects, which would be enough for them. When Chong Yuanjin heard this, his brows were tightly knit together, and finally he set his eyes on David and Yuan Baozhong. Yuan Baozhong saw Chong reinforcements look at him, and hurriedly said, "Leader Chong, Pavilion Master Zhao, there are still some urgent matters in my family, then we will leave, and we have to catch a plane to fly back to China and Hong Kong." Yuan Baozhong was really afraid that the Chong reinforcements would keep him. If he was allowed to stay, Yuan Baozhong would not refuse, but if he really wanted him to deal with the people from the Miao Village, Yuan Baozhong was also apprehensive, so he left in a hurry. Yuan Baozhong said so. Chong Yuanjin didn't know what to say, so he could only nod his head. Seeing this, Yuan Baozhong hurriedly took Zhou Jiaolong and walked out. Looking at the backs of the two, Zhao Wuoyuki snorted coldly. "A cowardly thing like a mouse, it is a set of tricks, and he calls himself China and Hong Kong. What about the first master of magic, Ba? Wuji, you just kept saying that Yuan Baozhong is a liar, what's going on?" Chong Region asked very strangely. Because he was eager to save his son just now, Chong Yuanjin didn't care about what kind of liar Master Zhao Wuoyuki called Yuan Baozhong. Now that Yuan Baozhong still said that, he couldn't help but ask curiously. Zhao Wuoyuki didn't hide it either, so he told Chong Yuanjin what happened at the auction one by one. After listening to it, Chong Yuanjin also looked incredulous. He didn't expect that Yuan Baozhong and Zhou Jiaolong would dare to lie to the capital. Come. However, when he thought that he was still respectful to Yuan Baozhong and invited him to his home, Chong Region's face was ugly. "Zhao Pavilion Master, Chong Leader, since the matter has been resolved, I should go back. Today I have to rush back to Horrendal. David said. He has to hurry up and go back to practice. The day of July 15th is getting closer and closer. David has to practice hard, and Shen Dianshan gave him a divination before his death, so that David himself did not know about July 15th. What awaits him one day is a blessing or a curse. Seeing that David was about to leave, Chang Yuanjin's face showed anxiety, and he hurriedly winked at Zhao Wuoyuki. Zhao Wuoyuki said to David understandingly, Mr. Chen, you just saw that the people from Miao village are already in the capital, and they have already attacked young Master Chang. As a demon, but with the power of our Dharma Protector Pavilion, it is difficult to find them, and I hope that Mr. Chen can stay in Kyoto for a few days to help us find the people from Miao village. David frowned slightly after hearing this. He just said that he wanted to leave, but he was afraid that Zhao Wuoyuki would ask for help from him. It's not that David was afraid of people from Miao village, but he didn't have time to waste here, so he had to hurry up and practice. Moreover, David also knew that these people from Miao village would not be poisonous, nor did they dare to do so. They just wanted to use the control of the puppet bugs to gain more benefits for Miao village. Dare not. Because of this, David didn't want to take care of it. After all, it was not life-threatening. As for other things, David didn't have so much thought about it. Seeing David's brows wrinkling, Chang Yuanjin also hurriedly said, Mr. Chen, I hope you can help, otherwise these Miao village people are afraid that they will make waves in Kyoto, even if they don't dare to do anything to me next time. And it is inevitable that they will do something to other leaders. In such a huge capital, is there no one who can control these Miao villagers? If there are several warlocks burning, killing and looting in the capital at this time, can you just watch it? David was a little confused. In such a large capital, no one can control the people in Miao village, and the Guardian Pavilion in Kyoto, which guards the safety of the capital, but they are all warriors. If there are a few powerful warlocks, aren't these people in the Dharma Protector Pavilion just a decoration? Chapter 603. After David finished speaking, Chang Yuanjin and Zhao Wuoyuki were both stunned for a moment, and then their faces showed embarrassment. Finally, Zhao Wuoyuki said, Mr. Chen, of course someone can control those people in Miao village, even if the strength is high. People of the law, if you dare to do anything wrong in Kyoto, someone can manage them, but these are not managed by my Law Protector Pavilion. What do you mean? There is a law enforcement department above your law enforcement pavilion. David was slightly surprised. Wrong, it's not the law enforcement department. These people are outside the law. No one can instruct them, and they are not under any control. Even all the people in our 6 doors are not qualified to order them. Chang Regent shook his head and said. They. Who are they? Are they immortals? David's eyes flashed with excitement when he heard Chang Yuanjin's words. Chang Regent was surprised when he saw David say the words, cultivator. Leader Chang, Mr. Chen is an immortal cultivator, but his strength is still shallow. Zhao Wuoyuki explained along with Chang Yuanjin. Chang Yuanjin was even more surprised when he looked at David. After a while, he recovered and said with emotion, no wonder when Mr. Chen made a move, Master Yuan was no match, so you are an immortal cultivator. Leader Chang, those people you just mentioned, are they also immortal cultivators? David asked again. Chang Regent shook his head. I don't know, even if I do, I can't tell you, because this is a secret. After David listened, his face suddenly showed loss. Mr. Chen, this is indeed a secret. Even I only know a little bit, and I don't know anything else at all, so we have no way to ask those people to take action, and ask Mr. Chen to help. David frowned, he really didn't want to help. Is Mr. Chen afraid of staying in Kyoto and attracting revenge from the Qin family? I can assure Mr. Chen that I can warn the Qin family that you will never do anything to Mr. Chen. Zhao Wuoyuki thought that David was afraid of the Qin family's revenge. Mr. Chen still has grievances with the Qin family. When Chang Regent heard this, he asked suspiciously. Zhao Wuoyuki nodded, and recounted the grievances between David and the Qin family. After hearing this, Chang Yuanjin hurriedly said, don't worry, Mr. Chen, I can also come forward and help Mr. Chen speak. You have misunderstood. I didn't pay attention to a small Qin family. I just have other things to do. David is not afraid of the Qin family, but he wants to practice and has no time to delay. Mr. Chen, you can't underestimate the Qin family. Now I can suppress the Qin family and speak for Mr. Chen because the owner of the Qin family, Qin Zhaolin, has not yet left the customs. If he does, he will know that his son is being held by Mr. Chen. Kill, I'm afraid I won't give any face. Chang Reinforcement said hurriedly. The Qin family has so much energy. David was a little surprised. Chang Yuanjin is the leader of the 6 gates. If Zhao Wuoyuki sees someone who has to behave well, how could the Qin family dare not give Chang Yuanjin face? Chang Yuanjin sighed and did not speak, but Zhao Wuoyuki explained, Mr. Chen doesn't know, there is still power behind the Qin family, this Qin Zhaolin line is just a branch of the Qin family, the real Qin family. The family has huge forces in Kyoto and even the entire north, but these forces do not show up easily. Following Zhao Wuoyuki's explanation, David was a little surprised. He couldn't imagine that the Qin family he had seen was just a corner of the Qin family. Mr. Chen, what you have seen is actually just the surface. The water in the entire Kyoto is very deep, and the real powerful families are invisible to ordinary people, and they have not even heard of it. Chong Regent said with a sigh. Chapter 604. Listening to Chong Yuanjin's explanation, David felt more and more pressure. Originally, he thought he was a cultivator. Although he didn't dare to say that he was invincible, he still had no rivals. But now David knew that the so-called opponents he had encountered were just some small fish and shrimp, and he had never seen a truly powerful family. But David is not afraid. After all, he has nothing to do with those powerful families. As long as the other party does not trouble him, David will not take the initiative to provoke the other party. Is his mother still alive? Mr. Chen, you don't have to worry, these hidden families will not easily target a person, so the so-called giants who deal in Kyoto are the so-called giants on the bright side. Zhao Wuoyuki was afraid that David would be afraid and hurriedly said. Well. David nodded, and then continued, I do have some urgent matters, so I can't stay in Kyoto for a long time. Well, I can stay in Kyoto for 3 days and help you find those people in Miao Village. Thank you, Mr. Chen. Mr. Chen shot. Those people in Miao Village will definitely not be able to escape. Hearing this, Zhao Wuoyuki said with a look of surprise. As a cultivator David, as long as he is willing to take action, those people from Miao Village will not be able to escape. When Chong Regent heard this, he hurriedly thanked. Thank you, Mr. Chen. David smiled lightly. Leader Chong, you're welcome, but if I can't find it within 3 days, I can only leave. No problem, I'll definitely find it in 3 days, otherwise I'll be staying in the 6 stores in vain. Chong Yuanjin had a plan. He wanted to find someone in Kyoto, and it was not difficult. The reason why he left David was to find those people from Miao Village and let David take action to keep them. After a few more conversations, David left with Zhao Wuoyuki, while Sonia and Ji Yuwenchen were still waiting for David Bai at the Christie's auction, and everyone from the Bai family was there, and no one dared to leave. Mr. Chen, how is it? Is Cheng's son cured? Seeing David coming back, Bai Shushan hurriedly asked. If David really healed Chong Yuanjin's son, then David will be able to go smoothly after he is in Kyoto. After all, he is a leader in 6 stores, and many things are easy to handle. Well, it's just mental damage, nothing major. David said lightly. David didn't say anything about the puppet bug. Even if he did, Bai Shushan and the others didn't necessarily know about it. After all, they were only warriors and didn't know much about the things in warlocks. That Chong Yuan has been in a coma for more than a year, and he has searched for famous doctors and experts, but none of them are optimistic. How could there be no major incident? It must be Mr. Chen's medical skills, so he was cured as soon as he shot. Bai Zontang said in surprise. Yes, it must be so, Mr. Chen is too modest. Bai Shushan followed along. Mr. Chen, are Yuan Baozhong and Zhou Jiaolong not looking for trouble? Ji Yuwenchen knew that these 2 people were also invited by the Chong reinforcement army, and if they met David together, it would definitely be unpleasant. Before David could speak, Zhao Wuoyuki said, those 2 big liars have already gone back to China and Hong Kong. They look so embarrassed when they left, how can there be any kind of master style? When everyone heard it, they all knew that Yuan Baozhong's skills were not as good as others, and after being cleaned up by David, he left in despair. Bai Shushan was more determined at this time, and the Bai family would follow David in the future, and David would follow his lead. Mr. Chen, when will we return to Horrendal? Ji Yuwenchen asked.